If you read the reporting from D.C., it sure seems like impeachment is a done deal. Democrats will impeach the president. The thinking goes, then we'll see what happens in the Senate. But what does that really mean? How long will the process take? What issues will it cover? Just Ukraine or more? Well, to get some of those answers, Andrew sat down today with a key ally of Nancy Pelosi, New York Congresswoman and the chair of the powerful House Appropriations Committee, Nita Lowey.
If an article of impeachment came before you right now, would you vote yes on it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. First of all, this president is an embarrassment. His behavior, his language, his impetuous actions. You don't know whether he believes in something, or the other day I heard him say, you need a strong man in charge. It's an embarrassment. This man is like a spoiled brat. It is disgusting to hear him talk.
That indicates to me that you would be willing to let the impeachment inquiry cover more than just Ukraine. How wide should it go? Should it go all the way back to Mueller? Should it be...
I want to make it very clear.
Yeah.
The Mueller report I thought was excellent. I'm not a trial attorney. I am not even an attorney. And I will leave that to my good colleague, Mr. Schiff and Jerry Nadler and the others on the committee. This man is an embarrassment. He's irresponsible. And we should proceed with an impeachment inquiry that I would hope would lead to an impeachment.
But if it's too wide-ranging, if it's not specific to one thing, to Ukraine or anything in particular, it sounds like you're willing to do a catch-all for any...
No, I'm not making that judgment. I am not on the committee, and I feel that this president does not deserve to be president of the United States. He's an embarrassment. Every day, just today, he had Turkey going after the Kurds in Syria, and then they canceled it.
But doesn't that approach run the risk of giving the impression that Democrats are just trying to relitigate the 2016 election as opposed to focusing on very specific Trump instances of malfeasance or inappropriate behavior?
Congressman Schiff, Congressman Nadler, but primarily Congressman Schiff are in charge of this investigation. This president should be impeached. I'm not going to second guess their investigation. There's so much information, frankly. He is an embarrassment.
What about the time frame, which is another concern for a number of Democrats, both in terms of losing the public's interest or having them be focused on other things where they seem very focused on this right now, but also of the process potentially bleeding too far into the 2020 presidential race process?
Well, I'm for whatever presidential candidate can win and defeat Trump. He does not belong in the White House.
Understood, but if impeachment is still being debated as the Iowa caucus and the New Hampshire primary come forward, is that, to your mind, a problem? Is that does it have to be done before we start voting for president?
I am not going to make that judgment about the time frame. Those who are handling it, my colleagues, Congressman Schiff in the lead, and Speaker Pelosi, I think are doing just fine. The important thing is they complete the process because this president should not be in the White House.
I know you watch the Sunday news shows as voraciously as anybody
every
does.
Sunday.
I'm curious what your reaction was when you saw Senator Ron Johnson on with Chuck Todd yesterday and basically saying he doesn't trust the intel community, doesn't trust the FBI or the CIA, I guess unless there's something flattering to the position that he's taking in all this. What was your reaction, and do you think Republicans actually believe what they're saying right now?
Frankly, he was an embarrassment. I don't know Senator Ron Johnson, so I can't evaluate who he is, what he stands for, if he stands for everything or anything. But if he's a patsy and just a lapdog for the President of the United States, he should be ashamed of himself.
All right, when we come back, it may be the longest lasting impact when we talk about the Trump era in D.C., and it was on display again today. The Supreme Court opening its new term today, with many expecting the court to take a sharp right turn on some hugely important issues, from gay rights to guns to immigration and more. When we come back, we'll tell you what's on tap and what's at stake. That when RFL continues.